I think this is going to be a quick one today. Sorry, I'm late. I had to shovel snow. There's a lot more snow than it looked out there. Anyway, the Huffington Post is reporting basically the same article that the Globe and Mail is reporting. So I'm going to just read a little bit of this one and then I'll move to the Globe and Mail article. But Huffington Post is reporting Liberal MPs urge Trudeau to reject massive Alberta oil sands mine. And this was posted, that was Trudeau on February 5th, but this was posted yesterday, February 6th. Today is February 7th. Okay. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau heard an earful from his Liberal caucus Wednesday with MPs passionately urging his cabinet not to approve Teck Resources' limited massive $20 billion Frontier oil sands mine project in Alberta. Many Grit MPs, that's Liberal, having promised voters during last fall's election that they would be an environmentally focused government, are adamantly opposed to the approval of a huge new carbon-intensive project. The proposal would see the mine north of Fort McMurray operate for 41 years, cover more than 29,200 hectares, and produce about 260,000 barrels of bitumen a day. 26,000. Anyway, so that's the prep for this. And Andrew Coyne is musing on Twitter. He says they cannot seriously think that a bundle of cash will mollify Alberta for canceling the Frontier Mine project. They cannot seriously be that tone deaf. They can't. Please tell me they can't. Okay, and that's the intro to the Globe and Mail article. So Liberals ready aid package for Alberta as deadline for decision on Teck Frontier Mine nears. So what they're saying here basically is it looks like there's a package being put together for Alberta to replace the jobs that the mine would have brought, just in case. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. Here's the Globe and Mail. Canada is preparing an aid package for Alberta, heart of the country's struggling oil industry, that would help dull the pain if it blocks an oil sands project that could create thousands of jobs, sources familiar with the matter said this week. Ottawa must decide by end February if Teck Resources Limited can build the $15.7 billion US, but they don't make that distinction except to note that it's Canadian, and then they don't put $15.7 billion of some other dollars. Okay, anyway. Frontier Mine in northern Alberta, despite climate and wildlife concerns. The decision is a major test of Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's election pledge to put Canada on the path to reach net zero greenhouse gas emissions by 2050. Okay, you see how this is changing the goalpost, everyone? Right? It used to be we have to reduce our CO2 emissions, and now it's net zero. Net zero is the new fad word because they can use math and offsets and all sorts of other fun things to get to this magical net zero. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. To quote President Trump, it's bullshit. Okay, back to this. Complicating the decision, unhappiness with the government's energy and pipeline policy cost Trudeau's Liberals all their Alberta seats in the October 2019 elections. This is a really poorly written article, the Globe and Mail. Wow. Okay, back to the article. Quote, there will be a big fight inside cabinet over this, said one source directly familiar with the matter who requested anonymity given the sensitivity of the situation. Rejecting Teck without providing Alberta something in return would be political suicide, the source added. In Alberta, the project is considered essential for employment and growth. Teck says it would eventually create 7,000 jobs, although the company's chief executive recently questioned whether it will ever be built. About 20 oil sands projects currently sit dormant despite receiving approval. Also under discussion is expanding the federal fiscal stabilization program that helps provinces deal with economic downturns, a measure Alberta's Premier Jason Kenney has demanded. Local infrastructure projects could also be in the mix, the source said. Teck is not a political gift. It deserves to be approved on its merits, Kenney spokesperson Christine Myatt said in a statement to Reuters. Quote, we do not view a decision on Frontier as something to be traded away. All five sources said while Trudeau was particularly concerned about national unity given strains with Alberta, he has not made his position known. Both Deputy Prime Minister Chrystia Freeland, who has the job of repairing relations with the province, and Natural Resources Minister Seamus O'Regan are widely believed to be tilting towards approving the project, while many other cabinet ministers remain undecided or outright calling for the thing to be cancelled altogether. So it's interesting, right? At the beginning, they're positioning this as an aid package to be put together for Alberta, but by the end of the article, and really like right at the end of the article, they say, oh yeah, but they're leaning towards approving it anyway. So I don't know what to believe. Like, I don't know. Who knows? We might get it, the Teck mine, or we might not. And if not, well, there's this big package of infrastructure spending, et cetera, ready to go anyway. So I don't know. Who knows? This government has just made me scratch my head for 4 years. So I'm going to continue scratching my head and going, okay. Back to articles. The plane from Wuhan has arrived in Canada. First, it landed in Vancouver to refuel, and then it took off and landed in Ontario to Trenton. And there's a base in Trenton that everybody will be quarantined for 14 days. I don't know if it's enough. Who knows? Have a discussion in the comments. I don't know. I don't know if it's enough. I don't think it was a good idea to break. A quarantine is like, you stay here until things seem like they've calmed down enough so that you're not sick. And that didn't happen here. And a bunch of countries have done the same thing. I'm not sure I understand the thought process. I'm not sure I understand the reasoning behind it. I understand Canadian nationals want to be repatriated. Maybe a better strategy is finding volunteers or just sending supplies to the embassy and saying, here's a bunch of supplies. Here's what we can do for you to keep you as comfortable and safe as possible. You know, don't go outside, whatever. But bringing them back to Canada seems like it's putting in jeopardy Canada. You don't have a quarantine of 50 million people for no reason. You don't drive up and down streets spraying disinfectant for no reason. You don't build a hospital in 5 days for no reason. Right? So it seems really strange that all of these Western governments are being this arrogant in the face of nature. Nature does what nature does. And if this little creature was, however it was made, it's here. And it's going to do what it does. And bringing it on a plane with a whole bunch of potential hosts seems stupid. I don't care if it's Canada or any other country in the world. It seems like a dumb idea. Absolutely ridiculous. I thought this was going to be a short show. I think we're on pace. No, it'll be a short show. This is the last story for this morning. CTV News is reporting. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything because they can just operate under a different name and bid for the same projects and just operate under that arm of the company. But it's kind of like a false consequence, really. It's weird. SNC Lavalin subsidiaries barred from public contracts in Quebec for 5 years. Ooh, slap on the wrist. Quebec oversight body has blacklisted 4 subsidiaries of SNC Lavalin Group Incorporated from bidding on public contracts in the province for 5 years. The ban by the Autorite des Marches Publiques, sorry if I've got that wrong, was triggered after the engineering giant's construction subsidiary pled guilty in December to 1 count of fraud in connection with business dealings in Libya. The plea deal was with federal prosecutors included a $280 million fine and capped off a scandal that tarnished the Montreal-based company's reputation and ensnared the highest offices of the Canadian government. It also freed SNC Lavalin from the damaging prospect of a ban on federal contract bidding. Under Quebec's Anti-Corruption Act, however, a fraud conviction automatically results in a 5-year banishment from bids in the public realm. SNC Lavalin suggested the company's shift away from large construction contracts towards its engineering roots minimized the potential damage of a bidding ban. Quote, while it's possible that the guilty plea by the subsidiary may present risks in the near term, the company believes these risks will be manageable and does not anticipate that the plea will have any long-term material adverse impact on the company's overall business, spokesperson Nicholas Ryan said in an email. Barred from public procurement bids until January 2025, the 4 subsidiaries are SNC Lavalin Exploitation, as well as SNC's Quebec, Ontario, and Atlantic construction divisions. Analyst Moner Nazir of Laurentian Bank Securities suggested the ban will barely make a dent on profits. Quote, there's no impact to the company as the entities have not been used since 2015. SNC can bid with and win contracts via its other entities, she said in an email. So kind of pointless. Right? Yay, justice. I don't know. So that's about it. I think that there's concerning things going on. I think that there's interesting chess pieces moving with the approval and the timeline for the Teck Frontier mine. Everybody knew that was coming. So it's interesting that it's up in the air still, right? Like this is not a friendly government to developing our national resources. It's been a long time since the good times were rolling in Alberta, right? So it is. And I don't think they're going to change tack now, right? Even if they get the approval, what's the next step? Are they going to drag their heels, or is it going to be another court thing, or is it going to be shovels in the ground, right? It seems like everything takes a lot longer and doesn't actually get done. So thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com and the CanadaReport.co, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.